Power moves. The ultimate definition in taking your opponent down swiftly at a dastardly cost, leaving yourself wide open at a shot for a final blow, a deciding moment. And today I'm going to demonstrate this in two of my favorite games, Breath of the Wild and Kirby Star Allies. Power moves in Legend of Zelda are delineated in which class of weapon you're using. Now of course this means you have options at a deciding blow, but of course as you're swinging around a giant hammer or jabbing an enemy with something far less so, this leaves you vulnerable regardless of your approach. Depending on your approach, however, means the beginning of a satisfying end or a gruesome one. That being said, the pinnacle of what makes a power move, is the approach, and depending on your environment, this approach can either be difficult, awkward, or pretty straightforward. Breath of the Wild has a more combative approach. The game is built around it, and it molds approach to the gameplay fairly seamlessly. Swinging heavier weapons makes sense as you can move around your enemies in a circle. Swinging any other weapon and you'll just spin in place with a short-term capability to mildly change your position. A fair trade-off for doing more damage and knocking an enemy back. Power moves in Kirby, however, have a different, but of course similar approach. While you can't move around with every ability, swinging with a nearly half-screen arc, there comes a feel for a need to do a little more reading into the situation. How are you situated? What weapon are you using? What's your enemy doing? How will it affect the environment? Because in Kirby, the game itself is a little less about combat, and more about exploration and finding things. However, it's necessary to know that you need a certain something to get there, and ruining that criteria is detrimental to gameplay. Combat is directly tied to said exploration, and presenting a power move, while no matter how satisfying, can dampen your mood after ruining a chance at exploration into a newfound area. Needless to say, in the spectrum of power moves, both are very useful, but how they're applied is also quintessential. While Breath of the Wild takes a more combative approach to the game as a whole, Kirby also does, but different, and the solution to these problems, while in different genres, are pretty much the same solution, doing proportional damage in their respective games. While the damage is indefinite for Breath of the Wild and Kirby, Kirby's enemies' health are balanced to die at a cap, but can still be hit after and relatively infinitely, depending on the ability. Breath of the Wild has stamina parameters that vary on the player. This has been my analysis of power moves. Until next time.